Welcome back. When a storm hits and you think you may have hail damage, you may think the first step is to call the insurance company to file your claim. But that may actually be the wrong move. Joining us now to talk about why contacting their company is the right first step is Josh West, the marketing director for Malone Roofing Services. And Josh Malone has been in the roofing and construction business for 4 generations. Wow, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of experience.
It's a lot of time. It goes back to the 1940s. It goes back to actually 1973 when it all started with Cornell Malone, hence EC Malone when you go to our website. And Cornell decided to make it a corporation in 1983. And the rest is history, so to speak. And so, as you mentioned, people think that the first thing you want to do
is call the insurance company.
Right.
I mean, because, you know, for most of us, you have a business, and there's so many different types of roofs. There's sloped roofs, there's flat roofs. So we go up there and we think, okay, we might have damage. Well, let me call it. So that's not the right thing to do, is call the insurance company. We need to call somebody who knows what they're looking at to look at it.
Correct. Somebody like a Malone, somebody who understands the process and understands what damage would be. So, you know, for a company like a Malone, for a reputable contractor that's out there, they're only going to work for the dollars that the insurance company decides that they want to pay. So it makes no sense for us to want to go out and to file a frivolous claim. So
Sure.
we go up there and we make sure we can not only identify what that damage is, but also be able to document that damage. And so we're helping you through that process with the insurer. And so it just provides a lot of peace of mind, provides a lot of flexibility, saves a lot of time, and of course we'll talk more about that as we go.
So we contact you, you all come out, you check out the damage, then what do we do?
So we say then that we say, okay, there is damage or there isn't damage. And again, it benefits us not. So we're going to be, you know, straightforward with you as a reputable company because we're putting our name on the line.
Sure.
Any company like us is doing that same thing. We don't have time to waste, right? Time is money. Time is money for the property owner or the business owner or even a homeowner, right? And so at that case, we say there is damage. Well, then you sign a contingency agreement. From that point forward, you are able to get back to living life because then we write in the same estimating softwares as the insurance company. We go back and forth, whereas people think that necessarily, let's say there's a number and they say we're going to pay X. Well, that might not necessarily be the case. We go out and prove that there's Y and Z as well. Again, we're writing in the same software. And so then we go back and forth, whereas, well, you might have forgotten to add this in, ridge cap. You might have forgot to put in, let's say, eave starter, for example, okay? And now that might be just for homeowners, not necessarily a commercial roof, but people get the idea.
Yeah,
you get the idea.
You know,
right.
You know what you're looking at. If I go up there,
I have no clue, right? It's out of sight, out of mind. We don't know.
Now there are a lot of myths too about filing claims and all that kind of stuff.
Well, one of the myths is that that if you need to go out, an insurance company will say this, go out and get 3 bids and then go with the lowest bid. Well, you're actually just saving the insurance company money when you do that. And so when there's actually a formula that they use. It is where you have replacement cash value minus depreciation equals actual cash value. Now, some people might only have an actual cash value policy, but let's just say you got a $10,000 roof for argument's sake and a $1,000 deductible. So when you go through that process of filing that claim, let's say the claim was $10,000 minus your deductible, but it's depreciated at 30%. So $3,000 off minus your deductible, you're going to get a check for $6,000. Okay, now this is where people think that they can make money off the insurance claim process. But you go out and get the cheapest contractor, they're going to put that roof on for $7,500. Now, they have to pay, insurance companies have to pay, there's verbiage in that says they will pay what it is reasonably worth. And that's where the back and forth goes through the contingency agreement. So if you go get it put on for $7,500, instead of getting that reputable contractor for $10,000, you're thinking to yourself, what's missing? Could they be underinsured? Do they not have a safety plan? If they get injured at your home or on your business, are you going to have to file that on your insurance?
So that's one of the reasons why after a storm, you see all these people come in from all over the place, and they're like, yeah, I can do that work, and maybe you shouldn't go with them because they're out to just basically make a buck, and they'll be long gone, and you're left with a messed up roof.
Well, exactly. So back to that previous example, you are actually only going to get a check for $500 and not $3,000. You're not going to be putting $2,500 in your back pocket because they're only going to pay that over of what's over, that scenario of ACV minus the RCV and, the depreciation and so forth. It gets complicated. You saw the graph, hence why you need to call us, right? And so, but you talk about stormers. You're mentioning stormers. They call us retail. We call them stormers. They travel all over the country, and they're not necessarily bad. However, it could be difficult when it comes to the actual installation, when it comes to the materials, because they're going to come in, quickly get licensed, do work typically for 6 months to a year, and then they've moved on to the next storm. How are you going to be able to get the follow-up? How are you going to go to that next step? It could be difficult. So that is something that you've got to be careful about and very conscious as a business owner and a homeowner.
And of course, there's new technology. I mean, I've heard about Duralast, I think it's called.
Not new technology, but they are the world's largest manufacturer of custom fabricated single ply roofing. They do a fantastic job.
Okay.
They're just one of the, see, when you go with a reputable contractor, you're going with a contractor that's going to use the highest quality materials, right? And so we're going to go with the name brands that back up the best warranties, that stand behind their work. It doesn't matter if you get a 50-year warranty from somebody that's installing your roof. They might be out of business tomorrow. These are billion-dollar companies that have been around for generations. And so for a company like Duralast that we do work with all the time, that is a company that is going to stand behind their work, stand behind that material, and they're family-owned just like Malone. They've been around, and they've lasted on those quality products and getting great contractors to work with them and be able to warranty those roofs.
I tell you what, Josh, I mean, as a person who looks forward to owning different businesses and things like that, you really have taken the worry for me out of it, because now I can contact you guys and be worry-free. Gang, Malone Roofing Services has 9 locations in 5 states, including New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Alexandria, plus in Jackson and Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Malone services nearly all of Louisiana. Now, to learn more about Malone, you can call them at 1-833-7-MALONE. That's M-A-L-O-N-E. Or log on to ecmalone.com.